Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. No watch party today, but I did still want to hop on here and get you guys caught up on everything that surrounds this basketball team. We've got a Mitchell Robinson update to get to on when he may be returning to the hardwood, and I just wanted to do a couple of fun segments. Look, I miss New York Knicks basketball. I miss hanging out with all the real ones, so I told my guy, Brett Scott, COO of Chat Sports, that I wanted to hop on here today and just go live and chop it up with all the real ones. So shout out to everybody that's in the building. We've already got 100 people in this MFer. Y'all are a bunch of real ones. So let's get the real ones going down in the comment section. If you are a real one, if you bleed orange and blue, if you love the New York Knicks, and Knicks Now by Chat Sports is your #1 Knicks channel on YouTube, drop a real one for me down in the comment section, and I'll give you a shout out. If you haven't yet, make sure you've also hit that thumbs up icon. Nick Davidoff is in the building. What up, Davidoff? How you doing, my man? Good to see you. As always, drop an eyeball emoji for the GOAT down below. Terrence Newman in the building. Carl Baptiste, the old head, the OG. He's here to spread some wisdom. What's happening, my guy? Maya's World is hanging out with us. Jaden, Eric, Richard, Luca, Ty Man the Buckeye, Mark Brown, Tony Rivera. Shout out to all the real ones in the building. I miss watching New York Knicks basketball, man. I miss hanging out with the squad, and I just miss watching my team play basketball. Seeps, you're back in the saddle. You're back in the studio. We need New York Knicks basketball.
Yeah, I'm like craving for it right now. Thursday can't come soon enough. And I hate looking ahead to like a Saturday game, but man, that Celtics game Saturday night, it's going to have a lot of juice to it.
Knicks, Celtics, Saturday night.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's going to be fun. I'm excited for that. Seeps, we're just talking hoops on the show today.
Oh, yeah, just hoops today. There's none of that. I know you guys like to get on us. Rumors. It's all ball talk today. I'm excited.
Ty Man the Buckeye says, how was vacay?
It was good. I feel rested. I'm ready to be back, though. Ready to be back.
What's up? What up? Carl showing love to my man Seeps. What up? Brothers, man. What up, man? Good to see you. It's been a while. We appreciate you, bro. Maya's World said, we miss you guys too, Marshy Green. And also, what up, Patty Seatman? Alarm in the building. BSJ. Bobby Bands. Shout out to everybody in the building. Creed tapping in with the real ones. We appreciate you guys. 150 people watching here on a random Tuesday in February. Please hit that thumbs up icon if you haven't yet. Easiest way to support the show. It's free. Hit the thumbs up, and it also helps the channel grow. And that's the goal here. We want to make this the biggest Knicks channel on YouTube. So please hit that thumbs up icon. Before we talk about Mitchell Robinson, before I tell you guys how the New York Knicks can win the Eastern Conference, and before we rank the top 10 most important players on this team, I need you guys to check out our proud sponsor, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use that promo code CLNS and get started with the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America. I already hear some people say, but Marshall, the NBA is on a break and the NFL is over. Well, you can also play multiple other sports on Prize Picks, including NHL, college basketball. There's soccer games you could also play, as well as the PGA Tour and golf. Check them out, prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. And if you use the promo code CLNS, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Check them out, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Seeps, the Knicks, they've lost 4 out of 5.
Yep.
They've lost 3 in a row. They got to get healthy, man. They just got to get healthy. That's the #1 key for the New York Knicks right now.
I feel like it's tough to even evaluate the new guys like Burks and Bogdanovich so far. Even an OG.
He's played 13 games, 12 games.
Yeah, and plus with no Mitchell Robinson, we don't even know what this fully healthy Knicks team looks like at all. Not even a little bit. So that's definitely got to get healthy because no offense to Precious, no offense to Malachi. Kind of sick of seeing these guys, play basketball.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, everyone's always like, Marsh, aren't you happy about the Knicks? Aren't you so excited they can win the East? I went home, I was talking to my brother, I was talking to my dad, talking to a couple of my friends about it, and it's just yeah, I am extremely confident, but at the same time, we have not seen this team at full strength play a game together yet. Yep. We haven't seen OG and Bojan play. We haven't seen Alec Burks and Randle play, or Bojan and Randle and Robinson. Like, we haven't seen, like, my mind tells me, yes, this team is good. They're going to be good. They're going to be healthy. But at the end of the day, it's something about the unknown that is a little bit scary for me.
Yeah, and the duo I want to see is the OG Mitchell Robinson defensive duo. We haven't seen that one bit this year. That is what I want to see. And I forgot, Malachi's he's in Detroit right now.
No one forgot that Malachi is in Detroit. Such a pivotal loss to this basketball team.
I will say, a lot of people talking about the All-Star game right now. Quick question. Is there any way to fix it?
Is there any way to fix the All-Star game?
Or do you think it's just – because I'm in the camp, I think it's just cooked.
I saw an interesting idea by someone, and I don't remember who it was, that maybe you just do it kind of NFL style, where you put it off until the end of the season, and then people will try because they try and pick up games. But, man, like, if I'm a player, let's say I'm a player in the league, and I can't think of one off the top of my head, but that's on like an expiring contract. And what happens if I tear my ACL in the All-Star game? I can't help my team in the second half of the season. And I've also lowered my value when it comes to money across the NBA as well. I don't know. The All-Star game's been bad for quite some time, though. People are acting like it was just this year. Remember, like, they tried the whole thing with the target score thing, which I actually kind of liked a little bit.
I liked it, too. I thought
I actually kind of liked the target score thing. They've tried the draft with LeBron and Giannis as the top 2 vote getters. I just think it comes down to, it doesn't matter what the style is. It doesn't matter what the format is. If the top players in the league are going to take it as a joke, that trickles all down. And, that starts with the players.
Yeah, and, I was thinking, you could throw, money as an incentive, but these guys are making so much right now that it probably wouldn't move the needle for them.
The All-Star guys are already rich. They're already on $100 million contracts unless you're on your rookie deal like Edwards, and he already's going to, if he hasn't yet, which I don't know off the top of my head, he's going to sign that $200 million deal sooner or later.
Those guys already have endorsement deals for millions, so I don't know if money could be it. You could go MOB and go.
I saw that a lot, and at the end of the day, is that really going to change anything?
I don't think that would change anything.
And is that fair?
To give them home
Do
court.
I care that much about a random Saturday in February or Sunday in February to determine if the Knicks can get a Game 7 at home one day?
And especially if, what if you're Trae Young? Are you really going to care about the East getting home court?
Yeah, is Scotty Barnes trying harder?
Scotty Barnes.
Look, I like all the ideas, but at the end of the day, I think it just comes down to, do they want to try?
Yeah.
Put it on LeBron.
I see. I do put that on LeBron.
I put it on LeBron. It kind of started when he came into the league.
100%.
Kobe was trying his ass off in these.
He was. Jordan took those games so personally too. I see people in the chat talking about the one-on-one tournament, King of the Hill style. Personally, I would do whatever it takes. I would do anything to get that on All-Star
weekend. One-on-one King of the Court would be dope.
There is no chance.
3-dribble one-on-one.
Oh my God, that would be awesome. I mean, guys like Tatum and KD would.
Because I do think that there may be a player out there that wants to prove that and I don't know if it's an all-star or whatever, but there's probably some guys out there that want to prove that they could be one-on-one players instead of, an all-star game needle mover.
And I think that would be funny to see Jokic play one-on-one.
Yeah.
Jokic would be terrible. If he had to play a one-on-one game.
And I thought Anthony Edwards, I know he made a joke of the whole All-Star weekend, but he kind of made a good point. It's a break for us.
100%.
It's a break. We get to be with and it's kind of become that. It's a family event. Everyone gets their family down there. You're hanging out with them. So I understand why these guys aren't trying. The injuries are at the forefront of that. I just don't know if there's ever a way that they can make it competitive. And it hasn't been competitive for a long, long time. I don't even remember the last one. Even when Kobe and Bron went at it in the All-Star games, those weren't competitive. You have that one famous picture of Kobe and Bron going one-on-one with Drake in the background. That wasn't a competitive game.
No.
It's been, a long time. I know we do this every year in February. I just think it is what it is at this point.
I think it is what it is. And plus, I'm at the point where I don't even like watching it anymore because it's just both teams are going to take a ton of threes. Whoever wins, it's just whoever's night it is, hitting the jump shot.
This is pretty funny. So I went home this past weekend to see my newborn niece and hang out with my year-and-a-half-old, almost 2 years old at this point, nephew. and the kids are asleep. It's Saturday night. It's Sunday night. We're watching the All-Star game. It's just me and my brother. And my brother's wife comes into the room, and she sits down for 5 minutes of watching, and she goes, Is this real?
Yeah.
She does not watch basketball, does not care about basketball whatsoever, and she's like, is this a real game?
Yeah.
And I'm like, kinda. It's like an all-star game. She asks a couple questions. She's like, why aren't they trying?
Yeah.
And it's like, if you can grab a random person that didn't know anybody but 5 players in the whole game and they watch and say, they aren't trying, this is a joke, and then made us watch something else because it was that bad, that's a problem.
Yep, it is a problem. Sam said the same exact thing. She was like, why aren't they trying? Why aren't they getting
She was laughing. Yeah. She was like, all they're doing is just running back and forth and dunking and shooting from three.
It was either a wide open dunk for like a Giannis or somebody taking a step back three and everything. I don't know. I think it's cooked.
It starts with the players. Like you said, Jordan made his admission. I am not going to be on a basketball court where I'm not the best player alive.
Yeah. Like
I think Kobe carried that a little bit.
Nobody has that. And Jokic is the best player alive.
He doesn't care.
Jokic doesn't give a shit about like that title.
He doesn't.
See, I would have liked it like, I don't know if Embiid is playing. Like, you have Jokic and Embiid go back and forth. Like, I want that.
And he just had the tryhards carrying the show. Tyrese Halliburton, Karl Anthony Towns.
Cat was trying.
Oh, my God.
Cat was bringing that.
Cat was trying so hard. It was a 2019 Timberwolves game. Cat had 50, and his team was down 20.
Cat had about 30 in the fourth. Dude.
It's ridiculous. I just think it's cooked. It's going to take someone to make it a mission to start trying really, really hard. And I don't think that ever is going to happen anymore.
Take the MVPs of the league.
Not my wife, my brother's wife. Not my wife. Let's get that abundantly clear. My guy Nick Davidov coming in with the first super chat of the day. Davidov, we appreciate you, my man. Good to see you in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with all of the real ones. We are still doing our February long competitions here on the channel. Reminder, if you send in a $10 super chat in the month of February, you are going to get a ticket into the raffle to win this signed Jalen Brunson photo. Every $10 super chat you send in, it'll get you an entry. And whoever sends in the most $50 super chats this month, we've only got 9 more days left, you are going to win a custom New York Knicks Now jersey. And my guy, Rob Rodriguez, he is at the top of the list. He has sent in 6 $50 super chats this month. William Burton right behind him. J10 behind him, Lord Buddy Bear right there, and then my guy Tony for New Jersey right there as well. We're about to dive into a bunch of topics surrounding the New York Knicks. BB Alex 33 says, can we talk Knicks? Yeah, I think we might do that today. I think we might talk a little bit of Knicks. Reminder, we've only been live for 13 minutes. We've talked about the Knicks. We've talked about how they need to get healthy. We've talked a lot about them. But we've also are going to talk about the All-Star game, considering a New York Knick was in it and 2 New York Knicks were selected in that game. You guys are so pushy sometimes.
I was so mad at Jalen Brunson.
I
told Marsh, he let me down. I bet on him at plus 600. Missed his last 3. He would have won it off. He would have got to the finals. He would have won.
Just gone into takeover mode?
Yeah.
And all he was in the All-Star game was just the little corner boy. He was the corner boy, shot 4 threes, and then he had that one dunk where he hung on the rim trying to get the technical foul.
His game is not like him, Luka, Jokic, like the more slow it.
They're not All-Star games.
They're not All-Star games.
If you can't shoot really far threes and dunk, like you're not an All-Star player.
Yeah.
All righty. We are going to get into a mailbag in about 30, 45 minutes or so. So if you want your question featured on the mailbag, I need you to drop a comment with hashtag Knicks, BBAlex33. You want to talk Knicks? How about you ask a question about the New York Knicks, and we'll pop it up on screen when we go through our mailbags. All super chats are guaranteed to get on the mailbags that are applicable. So please get your questions in. Hashtag Knicks or super chat. What up, Asia? Donovan's in the chat, says, everyone, come back. We are a deep team. Shout to Maya's World getting a question in. Shout to everybody. 235 people watching. Only 65 likes. Those are rookie numbers. Please hit that thumbs up icon. Let's get to 100 likes, and let's dive into it. The All-Star break is all but over, and now it is time to play basketball. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. In today's video, I wanted to rank who are the 10 most important players for the Knicks coming out of the All-Star game and heading towards the NBA playoffs. Not the 10 best players, but the 10 most important players. You might be shocked who I have at number 1. But if you miss New York Knicks basketball like I do, I walk around the house at night and I'm like, what do I do with myself? I miss watching my team hoop. Hit that thumbs up icon. The more likes we get on this video, the more likely it is the New York Knicks will win the NBA Finals. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Let's get into it. Who are the most important players on the New York Knicks roster? That is the discussion on today's show. But I first kind of just want to set the scene. As we know, the Knicks, they've lost 3 games in a row. They've lost 4 out of their last 5. They are one of the most injury-riddled team in the National Basketball Association. And we all know that the most important thing for them is to get healthy. But let's see where they stack up in the Eastern Conference right now. You got the Boston Celtics holding down the number 1 spot at 43-12. I think it's pretty safe to say they've got that spot locked up. Then you got the Cleveland Cavaliers, who have somewhat emerged as a team the last couple of months despite injuries to Garland and Mobley as one of the top contenders in the Eastern Conference. Donovan Mitchell having one of his best seasons in the league. And you got the Milwaukee Bucks and the New York Knicks, both at 35 wins. The Knicks, though, they have one more loss than the Bucks. Then you got the Philadelphia 76ers at 32-22. Joel Embiid still no timetable on his return. The Indiana Pacers sitting in that 6th spot at 31-25. And then you got the play-in teams with the Heat, Magic, Bulls, and the Atlanta Hawks. I'm looking at that number 3 seed, though. Can the New York Knicks surpass the Milwaukee Bucks and get to that number 3 seed? That way, they can avoid potentially playing the number 1 team in the second round of the playoffs. These next 10 games, though, we're going to find out how serious this New York Knicks team is. They have a tough schedule coming up. You got to play at Philly, then versus Boston. Then you get an easy one against the Detroit Pistons. The Pelicans are no slouch. The Warriors, you know where they're going to turn it up in the second half of the season. The Cleveland Cavaliers are one of the top hottest teams in the league right now. Get to play the Atlanta Hawks. You also have to play the Magic a couple of more times. They have dominated you this season. And you get the Philadelphia 76ers back-to-back at MSG on the 10th and 12th of March. The New York Knicks, they have the 14th hardest remaining schedule. So it's not going to be easy for them to climb the standings. But I believe that they can get at least to the 3 seed. I thought they could get to the 2 seed prior to the injuries, but they started to fall off prior to that All-Star break. I just hope one day this season I will be able to see a fully healthy New York Knicks roster. I want to see Brunson and Robinson and OG and Randle and Bogdanovich and Chenzo and Hart and Burks and Achua and Hartenstein all play together. Because I think when you look at the top 10 players on any team, the New York Knicks have the best 10 players in the league from 1 to 10. Thing is, they gotta be healthy. Thing is, they aren't right now. And that is why they are struggling as of late. I do know this, though. If we get any info on injury updates for Randle, Robinson, Anunoby, Hartenstein, DiVincenzo, or anybody else, we're going to break it down on this channel. So subscribe. Free, informative, entertaining content every day on your New York Knicks. Break it down. Subscribe. All righty. I wanted to take a look at just the top 10 Knicks, the guys that you just saw on screen. And I am classifying this as the most important Knicks coming out of the All-Star break, heading towards the NBA playoffs. At the number 10 spot, I've got Alec Burks. He was just traded from the Detroit Pistons to the New York Knicks, has only played 3 games for us so far, and he has somewhat struggled. I thought his shot selection just hasn't been that good overall, but he's averaging 13.3 points per game, shooting about 39% from 3. Burks, his number 1 job on this team is to score the basketball when Jalen Brunson is not on the floor. And he really hasn't been put in a position to do that just yet because he's been thrusted into a spot where he needs to sometimes carry the load on offense, even had to start a game. Ideally, when the Knicks are healthy, he doesn't have to do that, and all he has to do is score a couple of buckets when Brunson takes his 4 or 5 minute rest in each half, particularly in the playoffs. Hopefully, he can start to hit some shots more consistently. Precious Achiuwa is the number 9 player, talking about the most important Knicks going to the second half of the season. You could make an argument that Achiuwa may even be higher on this list, because if injuries continue with Hartenstein or Mitchell Robinson and Randle, Achua is going to have to play more, which means that his importance to this roster is going to be higher. He has been really good, though, for the New York Knicks. When they made this trade and they added him, a lot of people thought he was just going to be a throw-in alongside OG Anunoby. But you could make an argument that he may be the third best player in that trade, for sure the fourth best player in that trade, and he might be a part of this franchise for the foreseeable future. He's started a lot of games for us already, and I honestly think when Randle comes back, if he's not 100%, he may have to take a lighter workload and let Achua eat up some of those minutes. At the number 8 spot, I got Bojan Bogdanovich as the 8th most important Knick for the second half of the season. Bogey's number one job on the Knicks is score the basketball. That's why he's here, to hit big-time shots, to score when Brunson's off the floor, and I thought he did a really good job of that in that Houston Rockets game in the fourth quarter. Brunson was horrible for 40 minutes. And remember, he played that whole third quarter, and then Brunson played the start of the fourth quarter as well. Knicks fell down by 9 points, and then Bogey came into the game, and he got to the cup. He got to the foul line, made some shots, got downhill, and just put the ball in the basket. He is a professional scorer, and that's why he's here, to score the basketball. The Knicks need him to be healthy second half of the year and be able to do just that. At number 7, I've got Josh Hart for the New York Knicks. And I went back at 7 and 8. I was like, maybe Josh Hart is 8, maybe Josh Hart is 7. You could even make the argument that Josh Hart may be a top 5 most important player on this team. He is that type of dude. He can move the needle. He does all the rough and rugged stuff. He'll fly in for the offensive rebound. We know what Josh Hart brings. And his number one job is to bring that energy. But if I had to say what his number 2 job was and what the Knicks need him to do a little bit more of, is be able to consistently hit that outside shot. I'm not asking for Josh Hart to be a 40-plus percent three-point guy. Can you be 34%? Can you be 35%? And can you hit that big shot that you are going to have to take in the playoffs? He did it in Game 1 against the Cleveland Cavaliers last year. He was unable to do it against the Miami Heat. Josh Hart, you're going to have to take a couple of big shots this year. The Knicks are going to have to need you. They're going to need you to make that. At number 6, when it comes to most important Knicks, I have Mitchell Robinson. And you could also make the argument like Hart that Robinson is a top 5 important player on this team. He's not playing, though, right now. Reports are coming out that Robinson could return to action as soon as the beginning of March. That is what Tim Bodtips of ESPN said. We told you guys, though, in December, when he had that surgery, when everyone told me that Robinson was done for the year, see what the Widow's Peak told you that was not true, because that is not what I had heard. I heard he was always planning to come back around the All-Star break. Thibodeau said prior to the break that Robinson will resume on-court activities when they get back from the break. He is doing so now. We saw a video surface of him during the All-Star break working out. If the Knicks can get him back for the playoffs and you have 48 minutes of elite offensive rebounding and elite rim protection, they're going to be special. Number 1 job for Robinson, attack the offensive glass and protect the rim. At number 5, I've got Donte DiVincenzo coming in for the New York Knicks. And I thought about maybe even putting DiVincenzo higher on this list, but I think number 5 makes a lot of sense for him. DiVincenzo's number 1 job, hit open threes. Continue to have that readiness to catch and shoot from downtown whenever you get it. The dude has been special all year long for the New York Knicks. I think you can make the argument he has been one of the best free agent signings of the offseason. But what he has done as a starter, not even myself, the biggest DiVincenzo fan, thought was coming. The guy is averaging 16.5 points per game as a starter, almost 4 rebounds, almost 3 assists, shooting better than 42.5% from 3 on 8.6 attempts from deep. The guy is catching it and letting it fly. And if this New York Knicks team wants to get where they want to be in the playoffs, they need DiVincenzo to continue to be a flamethrower from downtown. We'll talk about the top 4 most important Knicks going for the rest of the season coming up around the corner. But you guys need to check out our proud daily fantasy partner, that is Prize Picks. Check out Prize Picks, prizepicks.com/CLNS. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. All you do is create a lineup and choose more or less on their projected stat line. And it's not just NBA that you could play Prize Picks with. NHL, college football, soccer, PGA, college football, the NFL when all that returns, and so much more. It's fun, it's exciting, but most importantly, it's easy. Check them out. prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. At number 4, I've got Isaiah Hartenstein when it comes to the most important Knicks. Hartenstein has proved to me that he is an instrumental piece in this puzzle when it comes to winning basketball games. Why? Because his number one job is do the dirty work. He does everything on the floor that nobody else wants to do. He'll go up and contest a shot at the rim, even if it means his nose is broken and he's bloodied up. He'll go and dive on the floor for the loose ball. He's one of the best damn dribble. And I know this is going to sound crazy, and it's like, Marshall, it doesn't matter. When it comes to dribble handoff, being able to get the guy the ball, set the screen, and create separation for the guy coming around the corner, that is so important for a guy like Jalen Brunson or a guy like DiVincenzo or someone getting downhill. He's also an offensive creator when it comes to passing the basketball out of the high post. The New York Knicks need Isaiah Hartenstein healthy. He's been battling with that Achilles injury. He missed 5 games in the month of February because of it. But when he is on the floor, the Knicks are one of the best teams in the league. They need 55 iHeart out there, and that's why I've got him as the 4th most important Knick coming for the rest of the season. At number 3, I've got OG Anunoby. I've got OG Anunoby at number 3, and I think that there is no better spot for him. Since Anunoby has become a member of the Knicks, or in that 14-game sample size prior to the injury, the Knicks were the number 1 team in the NBA in so many advanced metrics. He makes everything go. I don't want to say he's the engine to the offense or the engine to the team, or he's not the driver, but he is the gas in the car, man. Where the Knicks want to go, they need Anunoby. He makes life easier for Brunson. He makes life easier for Randle. Not only do you get a guy whose number 1 job is to lock everyone up, and he does it better than anybody else in the league right now, he also gets you a guy on the team that can score without really touching the basketball. Catch and shoot, backdoor cuts, fast break opportunities. We've also seen a little bit of a mid-range game from Anunoby prior to the injury, being able to get to his spot, step back, and rise up. Anunoby, very important piece. I want to freaking see that guy play basketball soon. Please heal up, young fella. This might be a little bit of a surprise. Yes, I know. I am the president of the Jalen Brunson fan club. I told you guys months and months before he was a Knick that he was going to be a Knick. I've got him number 2. Why? Because I have no fear. I have no doubt. And I just believe that he's going to do what he does. That's your job, Jalen Brunson. Do what you do. Just do what you do, man. Continue to be one of the best point guards in the NBA. That was disrespectful. Continue to be one of the best players in the NBA, because that is what Jalen Brunson is at this point. I believe he's a top 12 player in this league, and I have no fear that he will continue to not just show up in the playoffs and have his game translate to the playoffs, but you know what great players do? They don't just translate. They elevate in big-time moments, and that is what Brunson has done since he has picked up a basketball. Jalen Brunson, born to save the New York Knicks. He is doing that right now. 27 points this year, almost 7 assists, top 7 in scoring as well. He's going to show up, no doubt about it. But that's why I've got Julius Randle as the number 1 most important Knick going for the remainder of the season. This is not who is the best player. This is not who this list is at all. This is not who is better. We all know Jalen Brunson is the best player on this team, and they are going to go as far as he goes. But Randle's number 1 job is to show up in the playoffs. And that is why he is the most important player. Because if he does not show up in the playoffs, if he does what he did against the Atlanta Hawks, if he does what he did against the Miami Heat, if he did what he did against the Cleveland Cavaliers, the New York Knicks, they'll be packing their bags up in the second round of the playoffs, and they will be heading to Cabo. But if regular season Randle shows up in the playoffs, I am dead ass serious. This team can win the NBA Finals. Because if you have 2 All-NBA players on the court in the playoffs, alongside the second best coach in the Eastern Conference with one of the deepest rosters, you can win the conference and you can win the playoffs. Not the best player, the most important. Just show up and be productive. And this team could do something they haven't done since the 70s. Who is more important, in your opinion? And I honestly don't even like framing the question like this because I think the Knicks are better. Say it like this. The Knicks can live if Randle doesn't play and Brunson's there. They can't survive if Brunson is out. So that may even make me not make sense when it comes to who is more important. But I guess I should have framed it like this. Who is more important? Who's the most important player if the Knicks want to win the NBA Finals? It's this guy. You can get to the second round without Randle and then just Brunson. You could maybe even get to the conference finals with no Randle without Brunson. But Brunson can't do it himself. And that's why I've got Randle as the most important player if the New York Knicks want to win the NBA Finals. Make sure you guys are following me over on social media. I'm tweeting about the Knicks every day, and I'm posted on Instagram as well. At Marshall Green is the handle on both. Hit me up over there, and let's go Knicks. I see a lot of people don't love this.
Yeah, I don't
know if I set the stage right.
No,
But when you talk about importance, yes, and I thought I made a really good point at the end to close it out, that who's the most important when it comes to the Knicks wanting to win the finals? The Knicks can win a first-round series without Randle. They can maybe even win a second-round series without Randle. But if they want to win the championship or get to the finals, you need 11 and 30 at the top of their game.
I think, broadly, if you're looking at the Knicks, kind of sky view right here, yes, Brunson is more important. But, this season, what is the biggest factor that could go either way, that could really impact the Knicks? It's not Donte, DiVincenzo making or missing shots, or it's not even Brunson. If he has a couple bad games, I don't think that, sways the Knicks because of everything else he does well. Randle, though, if Randle averages 30 and 11, Marsh, this playoff run.
If All-NBA Randle shows up in the playoffs, you could win the whole thing.
I think you would. I think if you get 26 and...
If you just got his regular season averages, which is what, 26 and 11?
If you got 26 and 11, you are winning the championship. It's this, though. If you get this...
You know why he's the most important? Just like you said. Because if this guy shows up, if these numbers show up in the playoffs, you may lose in the first round. You may lose in the second round.
I mean, if Randle goes out there and has 16 points a game on 34% shooting, it doesn't matter what Brunson does.
Exactly. That's why he's number one. If Julius Randle does what he's historically done in the playoffs, his number one option could be Michael Jordan. They would not win.
They would not win.
They would not win. We all know, all 350 of us in here, we all know that Jalen Brunson is the best player on this team.
Yeah.
And in a vacuum, yes, he is the most important player.
Yes. Because
you can't reach the success you want to go to without Brunson. But, man, when you talk about X Factor, when you talk about a guy that can change your life.
There might not be a more important player in the entire Eastern Conference.
I think you can make it the case that he is the playoff production from him is the most important across any team.
Yeah, I was either thinking him or Damian Lillard or something like that, but there's no doubt. See the Randle thing, how he's so important is because he plays well. Knicks are legitimately have a chance to make the finals and win it. He doesn't play well. Let's just say the Knicks somehow get the Heat in round one, or it's somehow in that 4-5, and you get Indiana.
I don't like it. If Randle plays bad against the Heat, I don't think we could beat the Heat.
100%. I mean, you could lose in round one.
SF Wisdom says, honestly, Randle and Brunson will take us to the finals, but OG is going to be the reason we win it. Yeah, when you're there, you need those other guys to step up, but I don't have any issue. I have all the faith in the world in Anunoby showing up.
Yeah.
That translates. Defense translates.
And it's because guys like OG and Brunson, if they're not shooting the ball well,
they find other ways to affect the game.
They're finding other ways. When that dude 30's not hitting his shots or not getting downhill and being productive, I mean, he's one of the worst players to have on the floor in the league. I totally get what people are saying, where it's how could you say he's more important? But in this series, in this season, I think it's no doubt Randle's more important.
We all know that the Knicks are, when Brunson's out and Randle's out, the Knicks are two completely different teams. When Brunson's out, you're a nobody. When Randle's out, you could stay afloat.
Yeah, but when Brunson's in and Randle's playing well,
you're really good.
Yeah, you're cooking with grease. I mean, the Knicks almost lost to the G League Grizzlies without Brunson.
Yeah. So we all know who the best player is. And you don't have to agree with me. It's just my thought. The most important player for the Knicks to win the NBA Finals is Julius Randle. If Julius Randle does not play well, he probably won't be on this team next year, and you'll probably be home in round 1, if not round 2.
You can make an argument he's the biggest X factor in the league this year.
I think so, too. BX banging, what up, man? Shout out to Creed, King Blaze, Jeff James, over 350 people watching. Shout out to you guys. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all are real ones. John Pettit in the chat says, Randle takes the pressure off JB, and if you look without Randle, JB's shooting percentage went down because teams can double team. They're like PB and J. This is what it is. They're peanut butter and jelly. You right? Ready? Mm-hmm. You can have a strictly peanut butter sandwich, and it be all right.
Yeah.
That's Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
You don't want fucking just jelly.
Yeah.
But when you got peanut butter and you got jelly,
yeah, it's mine.
Woo!
Or I'll take it a step further.
Okay, all right.
He's the icing on the cake.
Icing on the cake is Randle.
Oh, Randle's the icing.
Okay.
Brunson's the cake. You can't have it. You can't even have a cake without the actual cake.
You're right.
Randle's the part that makes it delicious. But have you guys ever just ate icing?
No one wants to eat just icing.
Nobody wants to just eat icing.
And all good cakes pretty much have icing.
All good. You have to have icing.
You have to have icing.
You have to. But
So-
you don't just want icing.
No, you don't just want to eat icing.
But you could just eat cake. Shout out, JB.
The PB&J analysis, that was pretty good.
That was good.
That was pretty good. Quentin Gilliam, what up, man? He says, it's mental. He is a head case. He's about as clutch as me drunk playing spades. Not at all. CPJ, you agree with what we're saying outside of the fact that Randle's more important. I actually think Brunson is more important, but for what we're trying to say, I think it's Randle.
Yeah.
OG
the sprinkles. OG the sprinkles.
Who's the candles?
That's. Ooh.
I think DiVincenzo's the candles.
I was gonna say DiVincenzo's. What is Josh Hart's?
Josh Hart's the lighter, the spark. He's the spark.
Sometimes a lighter doesn't work.
Sometimes the lighter doesn't fucking work, Josh Hart. Oh my God. We appreciate you guys. Reminder, if you do want to enter our raffle to win a signed Jalen Brunson, what would you call this? Photo? Framed photo?
Signed framed photo?
Signed framed photo. If you want to have the opportunity to win this, if you send in a $10 super chat in the month of February, you will enter the raffle. For every super chat you send in, we'll get you a ticket. Also, if you want to have a chance to win our February bang competition, if you send in a $50 super chat, that equals a bang. Whoever sends in the most $50 super chats in the month of February, you're going to win a custom New York Knicks Now jersey. So if you want to win a custom New York Knicks Now jersey, you have to send in the most $50 super chats this month. If you want to win the signed Jalen Brunson framed photo, send in a $10 super chat and you will enter a raffle to do that. All right. So we've already talked about the most important players for the Knicks to essentially win the NBA Finals. We've talked about that. Now let's talk about how the Knicks can win the Eastern Conference and get to the NBA Finals. Over 300 people watching, only 109 likes. Please hit that thumbs up icon. Would greatly appreciate it. Also, reminder, we've got a mailbag coming up in about 30 minutes or so. Hashtag Knicks or Super Chat to get your questions on the mailbag.
Get those questions in there.
Rodrigo says we need to bring back all the injured players, and we set. Agreed. We got to get healthy.
Got to get healthy.
All this doesn't matter if you're not healthy.
Also, I will say this. You think about this. If the Knicks get healthy and Porzingis, something happens to him, I can make an argument the Knicks are the favorites. Like bookmakers. Like I bet you it would be close.
Who is... Well, let me scroll up.
What are you looking at?
I just see someone's comment, and I'm trying to see all of it, but I don't know what it is. It says, butt hurt because you had an awful take. Sorry, not sorry, but I can't see the rest of it. I think it's someone chirping at someone else. That's hilarious, though. All righty. Let's do it. How the New York Knicks can win the Eastern Conference. Can the New York Knicks win the Eastern Conference and represent them in the NBA Finals? Well, in today's video, I'm going to tell you what's going to need to happen for that to happen as you're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports, and I'm your host, Marshall Green. The number one most important thing for the New York Knicks to win the East and get to the Finals is get healthy. They have to get healthy. You need Anunoby healthy. You need Randle healthy. You need Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein, Donte DiVincenzo, Bojan Bogdanovich. You need all top 10 players healthy. It doesn't matter if you're the 3 seed and you're limping to the playoffs. If you're not healthy, you will not be able to get to where you want to go. Get healthy. Let's provide some quick injury updates. Julius Randle is supposed to be doing very well. According to Tom Thibodeau, he says he is on track with his rehab. Reminder, it was at the end of January where he was going to be reevaluated in 2 to 3 weeks. I'm sure he'll be reevaluated once we get back from the All-Star game, and I think you're looking at mid-March as a potential return date. We also got an update on OG Anunoby. Anunoby is expected to be reevaluated around March 1st. Remember, the trade deadline, which was February 9th, I want to say, it was a 2 to 3 week injury. It's been 11 days. I'm sure he'll be reevaluated soon. Sounds like March 1st is the target date. Big injury update today. Mitchell Robinson, according to ESPN's Tim Bontemps, could be back in early March. People told me he'd be out for the year in December. I said, no way, no how. Sounds like Mitch Rob could be back sooner than we all would have thought. Also, Bojan Bogdanovich was out versus the Magic, but is expected to be ready to go post-All-Star break, and that would be huge to get him back. Not expected to miss a lot of time. Donte DiVincenzo is also expected to be back from the All-Star break, as well as Isaiah Hartenstein. So you look at the top 10 healthy, or a full-strength roster is a better way to word it. If you are fully healthy, I believe your top 10 stacks up against any other person's team's top 10 in this league. We haven't even seen Anunoby and Randle play alongside Bojan Bogdanovich. We've only seen 14 games of Anunoby, but in those 14 games, the New York Knicks were one of the best teams in the NBA. How can the New York Knicks win the East? Reason number 2, Julius Randle is productive. Randle, regular season Randle, needs to show up in the playoffs. If you told me, Marshall, Julius Randle is going to average 24 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and shoot 47% from the field in the playoffs, I would have told you that the New York Knicks won the Eastern Conference and got to the NBA Finals. If regular season Randle shows up, the New York Knicks can beat anybody in this league. Thing is, he hasn't done that so far through his career in the playoffs. When you look as a whole, as his career playoff stats, all 13 games played, he averages less than 17 points per game. He's giving you 9 boards. I appreciate that. But he's averaging more turnovers than assists, and he's shooting 34% from the field. The guy is shooting tour dates out there, 27% from 3. Randle has struggled in the playoffs. Knicks need to turn it around. He was awful against the Hawks. I thought he was awful against the Cavs. He was a little better against the Miami Heat, shooting almost 48% effectively from the field, but he still wasn't good. The Knicks need the All-NBA, All-Star Julius Randle to show up in the playoffs. And if he does that and Brunson does what he does, this team will be a tough out for anybody in the East or the West. Let's show him some love, though, because even I can admit, as the biggest Julius Randle hater, but I also give him a lot of praise when he plays well. I'm a really easy guy. Play well, talk good. Play bad, talk bad. I can admit this team needs him. And he may just be the most important player on this team. Not best, but most important if they want to win it all. So show him some love. Type those 30s down in the comment section if you want to see Randle back out on the basketball floor playing for our New York Knicks. I'm never scared. Scared money don't make money, and I've never backed down from anything in my life. But let's be objective here. Avoiding the 4th or the 5th seed this year, that way you don't have to play the Boston Celtics in round 2, would be huge for the Knicks to get to the NBA Finals. If you can avoid them somehow to where you get to play them in the Eastern Conference, that'd be great. You know why? Because the Celtics are kind of frauds. And they're soft. And they've proven in big-time moments they aren't all that clutch. Their best player, Jason Tatum, didn't play all that well in the finals last time he was there. Jalen Brown in Game 7, Jalen Brown in Game 7 and had like 14 turnovers. Not really. It was like 9, but still, it was a record. If you can find a way to get up to that number 3 seed, that way you can play the Cavs in round 1 and you beat them and you host maybe the Indiana Pacers in round 2, that'd be pretty damn cool. The Celtics are mentally weak. I truly do believe that. I don't think their head coach is very good. And outside of Drew Holiday, I think they're all pretty soft. Al Horford's a tough player as well. I like him. He's old, though. He's like 75 years old. If you can find a way to avoid the Celtics in round 1, obviously you will. Round 2, and you match up with them in the Eastern Conference Finals, pressure's on them. There's a lot of pressure in the TD Garden if you're playing the New York Knicks in round 3. And I'll tell you what, I think we match up pretty good against them. I hope we get to play them in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'll get to my final 2 things that need to happen if the Knicks want to get to the finals. But first, make sure you're checked out with our proud daily fantasy partner, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Daily fantasy sports made easy. It's so easy. It's also exciting. Daily fantasy sports. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply choose more or less on their projected stat line. There's more than just the NBA, though, that you could play. NHL, college basketball, soccer, the PGA Tour, and so much more. Check them out. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. Use that promo code, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100. The number 4 thing that needs to happen if the New York Knicks want to win the East, the shooters on this team, the shooters have to do. The shooters need to make shots. Shooters need to shoot. Because last year, the reason the Knicks weren't able to advance to the 3rd round is they couldn't make shots. The Miami Heat said, you know what? We're going to force Josh Hart to shoot. We're going to force Julius Randle to shoot. We're going to force Miles McBride to shoot. The Knicks shot 29% from 3 last year. They do this year. They will once again be heading home before the conference finals. The shooters, they got to shoot. I'm looking at Donte DiVincenzo. I'm looking at Bojan Bogdanovich. I'm looking at Josh Hart. I know Josh Hart's not a shooter, but he's going to have to make big shots because there's going to be a time in the playoffs where Brunson or Randle will throw the ball to Hart as the clock is expiring, the shot clock, and he's going to be wide open, and he's going to need to make it. The Miami Heat made Josh Hart beat him. He did not do that. The New York Knicks lost. 42% from 3 for DiVincenzo. Almost 42% from 3 from Bogdanovich. Over 40% from Alec Burks. Those 3 guys, they need to be lights out. But Josh Hart, you're going to have to take and make some big shots. You did it in Game 1 against Cleveland last year. You need to do it this year. The shooters, they need to shoot. And number 5, and probably this is the most important in my opinion, number 2, but this one too. Just go be great. Go be great, Jalen Brunson. Just go be you. That's what you are. You are great. And how great? He probably needs to be the best player on the floor when he's playing. That means if you play the Heat, he's got to outplay Jimmy Butler. Again. If you play the Cavs, he's got to outplay Donovan Mitchell. Again. If you play the Boston Celtics, you need to outplay Jason Tatum. If you play the Indiana Pacers, you need to outplay Tyrese Halliburton. And I believe in this guy because he's one of the best in the league. Look at what he did last year. He honestly wasn't even he was great in round 1. He had a control of the series, had a control of the game. But just the jump from round 1 to round 2 was incredible against one of the best defenses in the league with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo and a veteran in Kyle Lowry and one of the best coaches in the NBA and Eric Spoelstra. Jalen Brunson lit him up for 31, 6, and 6. I remember Candace Parker told me he was better in round 1 than in round 2. Wish she would have watched this show and saw this graphic because she wouldn't say something so stupid. Jalen Brunson is special. He is Captain Clutch. He's the face of this organization, and we are all just on his back looking for a ride to get to the NBA Finals. Jalen Brunson, do what you do, young fella, and continue to be great and continue to save this franchise. Get healthy. Regular season Randle show up in the playoffs. Avoid the 4th or 5th seed. This is probably the least most important, but it makes your life a little bit easier. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes it's okay to take the little easier route. Shooters, they need to shoot, and they need to make shots. And the number 11 needs to be the MVP like he's arguably been this year. If you want the Knicks to win the Eastern Conference, hit that thumbs up icon. Let's bring the good vibes to the show. Hit that thumbs up icon if you want the Knicks to win the East and get to the NBA Finals. Let's go. Make sure you are following me over on Twitter and Instagram. @MarshallGreen_ is the handle. I'm tweeting about him all day. I'm posting about him as well whenever we get news or rumors. So give me a follow over there and go New York, go New York, go. Woo! Can Jalen Brunson outplay Jason Tatum in a playoff series?
I mean, he can, definitely.
He can.
Like,
he's going to have to do
it. He's going to have to go do it. I
also love that when you mix it in a little bit, we got OG Anunoby to slow him down.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is like I trust Jalen Brunson going against that Drew Holiday, Derek White matchup a whole lot more than I would trust Tatum versus OG. And I know Tatum struggled in the finals. He's also been a killer in round 2 of the playoffs, even in the conference.
So I want to
finals.
see him round 3.
See him in round 3. See him when the stakes are the highest. I don't want to see the Celtics in round 2.
Was he? I didn't think he was that good against the Heat last year. I know he was. First 3 games he wasn't. Next 3 games he was. Then he got hurt in Game 7.
I just remember. I don't know if it was last year, but the one series he had against the Bucks, where he had like back-to-back closeout games with 40+ on the road in Milwaukee, down 3-2. I'm just excited, man. I'm very, very excited for where this Knicks team is going to go.
OG Anunoby. We got the Tatum stopper.
Also, they made a good point with the Josh Hart thing. There will be a Game 5 or Game 6 in the playoffs.
It's going to come down to a Josh Hart shot.
Like, it will. Like, the ball will just it will kind of have that Marcus Smart effect where it just ends up in his hand somehow.
Yep.
I'll guarantee you this. If the Knicks would ever run a closing lineup like Randle, Hart, DiVincenzo, OG, and Brunson, like go super small, the defense is not guarding Josh Hart.
No, they're not.
They are saying, you are hitting a jump shot and we are losing. So,
I mean, what about Game 6 against the Heat? Brunson drives and he looks out. It wasn't even like a lookout at Hart. He drove right, and it was a fake spin move, but there's that screenshot where he's looking at him. But Josh Hart's wide open.
Yeah.
His man is helping. Butler is helping off of Hart to defend Brunson. I don't even think Brunson necessarily saw him. I thought Brunson had on his mind to get a shot. He drove, and he went like this, the fake spin, and then got downhill. Everyone freeze-framed that. Pass it to Hart. That's a 0.2 second thing, and he wasn't even looking to pass. But at the end of the day, Josh Hart is going to have to hit a big shot. He did it in Game 1 against Cleveland last year, the step back, and then he's limping up the floor. Josh Hart!
Yep.
Gonna have to do that.
See, Marsh, when you were talking about these stats, I don't even think we're scratching the surface of what this kid's going to do.
If he did what he did against the Cavs last year, this year, I would say he had a bad series.
I would say he had a bad series. Even the Heat, I think that, it's so funny.
31-6-6 is crazy.
Whether it's also, it could be 27 and 9 assists this year, which
his playmaking has gone up.
The playmaking in the playoffs, I cannot wait to kind of see him take that next step, where it's like he's really putting the game in a stranglehold.
And it's way easier, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to the players that were on the team last year, but when it's a high pick and roll, and let's say you run a horn set, which is just Brunson's up top, and you have Randle and Hartenstein setting a screen for him, and you got DiVincenzo and you got Anunoby in the corner.
Yeah.
You help off them, whoop,
yep.
whoop,
yeah,
whoop,
good.
whoop.
And we already saw RJ had so much success last season.
Catching weak side and getting downhill. Anunoby can do that.
Even we've seen DiVincenzo, he's got that quick first step to him,
DiVincenzo does have that quick little, hey!
He got it.
And then even Bojan Bogdanovich can attack closeouts.
Yeah.
He's an underrated player when it comes to putting the ball on the deck.
I just think, have you thought about closing lineups yet, or is it just kind of feel? Like, it's obviously going to come down to matchups in the postseason.
I don't know how it's not your starting 5.
Yeah.
You had the best starting 5 in the NBA for 14 games.
Yeah, I think it has to be.
Because I think, yeah, Josh Hart's going to find a freaking way to get himself in that closing lineup because Tibbs is going to love him, but
But also DiVincenzo is going to find a way to get,
and you know OG Randle, a big and Brunson. It's Hart, it's DiVincenzo, or it's Bogdanovich.
Yep.
And it's like if you're...
See, you could even run small. Like, let's just say Boston. I don't know what they could be running. Maybe you want to go small against Boston and put
I know where you're going with this. If they're going Porzingis at the 5, I think you could run a 4-5 of Randle and Anunoby.
Oh, my God.
And you put Anunoby on him.
And then you put Josh Hart and DiVincenzo and Brunson. Or even Bogdanovich or something. Those are all dudes. They got shoulders. They're not going to be a small lineup. Because also, I would love to see Porzingis just run around. Like, that's where the Knicks can also really beat him, too.
Yeah.
Like,
And make him, like, I know he's a shot blocker, but Randle, you get a couple of Randle's shoulders into your sternum, you don't guard the rim the same way as you once did.
Porzingis, like, his frame.
He's
like,
brittle.
He's not going to want that.
Is Kristaps Porzingis going to stay healthy for 2 months of two games every 3 nights?
That's also the thing. Like, the Celtics are one injury from – obviously, they'll still be a really good ball club, but, like, from the whole formula changing. I will make this point for all the Knicks fans. If you are scared of the Celtics, I cannot get this out of my head. The Celtics take 45 threes per game, which is by far the most in the league. They just don't really have a knockdown shooter. And they take so many threes, and I just can't, like –
Tonight you go cold.
Some weeks you could go cold in the NBA. Like, I just feel like the Celtics, yes, they get so many open shots. They play the game very, very well. But, like, if they just have a week where they just can't shoot the ball well, which they have guys on their team, they have shown that. They can go cold in their careers. Like, I just think they're vulnerable. They think they're very vulnerable right now.
And that style of offense is like –
it's easy in the regular season. You can kill teams in the regular season.
But, like, even for the – 100% agree with that. But, like, for the Knicks, they play drop coverage. They kind of let teams – I don't want to say they let teams shoot, but they force them into bad threes. And the Celtics have kind of been their offense, a bad matchup for the Knicks defense, that pick and pop. They haven't been able to quite stop that this year. But, like, man.
But also through a 2-week series with Boston –
You completely zone in on that.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting to see how Tibbs changed his game plan.
Yeah, Tibbs.
You can't play drop coverage against them.
Tibbs will change it. I mean, it'll be quarter to quarter how he's changing his coverages against them. Tell you what, I'm very confident in the Knicks coming out of the East. I don't know if it's just because, but I don't know. Just my basketball mind is telling me that, like, the Knicks have everything it takes. Just comes down to 30. Like, it's going to come down to the end of the games. Like, Brunson's going to get double-teamed really quickly off a screen, and then Brunson's going to kick it to Randle, and Randle's going to have a decision to make. Is he going to have to make the extra pass or just attack his guy, coming in on a closeout? That's the guy. But if Randle shows up, like, I'm fully confident saying the Knicks will represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals. If
regular season Randle shows up,
they will win the Eastern Conference. They're a better team than Boston.
Every team in the East is scared shitless that Randle shows up.
100%.
Everyone makes the joke, oh, we know Randle ain't showing up. We ain't worried about you guys.
You know what they're really scared of? They're scared of OG and Mitchell Rob. Like, they're scared of that the defense the Knicks are going to bring. Like, Tatum and Brown, you think they want to go against OG for 7 games? And that's also the thing. People view these playoff series as
they're
like
2-3 weeks.
They're 2-3 weeks, and you're like, I got to go against OG, and then they got that psychopath Josh Hart coming off the bench. Like,
and we got Hartenstein and Robinson at the rim all game.
Yeah, it's like, where do you find your easy looks? And that's what, also, with the way the Celtics play, they don't – it's so funny. You would think they would have 2 guys in Tatum and Brown where you would feel confident throwing them the ball. Oh, my God, I want Tatum to go ISO all game long on OG. I want him to take that little sidestep 3. Like, live with that.
I feel completely comfortable with Anunoby guarding Tatum, by the way.
I do too.
I really do.
I feel he is the best defender in the league for a reason. But
oh man. We did get a $10 super chat from my guy Matt Shaw. Matt Shaw, we appreciate you. You have entered the raffle to win this signed Jalen Brunson photo. Every $10 super chat in the month of February will get you a ticket. He says the Knicks need to shoot for the 2nd seed to potentially have an easier journey to the Eastern Conference Finals and then the Finals. Agreed, man. That's why, like, I was getting so upset about these games against, like, the Rockets and the ones you're supposed to win. And I know that the Knicks were depleted, and they were very light when it comes to players that could play the last couple of weeks. But, like, I don't want to play Boston until the conference finals.
Yeah.
Let us be peaking at the right time. Let Robinson have a month of hoops under his belt. Let Randle be back and ready.
And it adds more pressure to Boston to play them in the conference finals. Like,
Boston is so scared of potentially playing the Knicks or the Heat.
Yeah,
they are praying the Knicks or Heat don't make it to the conference finals.
They are praying the Cavaliers get there.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's what they want.
That would be the biggest cakewalk for Boston.
They'd sweep them. They would sweep them.
100%. Like, Because they would lock that BS Donovan Mitchell high pick and roll up.
My man Steven Spalding says, let's hope we stop smelling ourselves and get back to our winning ways. Effort goes a long way, and we haven't played with much of it last 10 games. Injured or not, you could still play with effort and grit. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping.
I think it just also might be the NBA calendar a little bit. Like, you see the All-Star break.
Yeah.
I mean,
And, dude, Alec Burks was starting. He may not even play some playoff games.
Yeah, exactly.
As we are getting a little bit of injury news right here, Thibodeau said Julius Randle has not been cleared to practice yet, but he is meeting all of the markers. He's doing well overall, just hasn't been cleared to practice. Also, Thibodeau said all three of the shorter-term injuries, Hartenstein, DiVincenzo, and Bogdanovich, they all practiced today. So that's huge news.
Yeah, we're good.
That is huge news.
Positive news.
Huge news for the Knicks. Yeah, All-Star game was terrible. All-Star game was terrible. All righty, we're going to close out today's show with a mailbag. If you want to be featured on today's show, hashtag Knicks or Super Chat. All Super Chats get up on the show. Shout out to Matt Shaw and Nick Davidov who have sent in a Super Chat today. We appreciate you guys supporting the channel. MG says, are you vaping while you're away? I just checked in. Vaping, no. Caught a little cold, though. Caught a little cold. So, no. I was not vaping. I just checked in. Randle, the most important, number one. What the? Number one, Brunson. Number two, OG.
If you kind of go...
You got to watch the video.
Yeah, you got to watch it.
You got to watch the video. Maybe I even title it like that to where most important players for the Knicks to win the NBA Finals or something like that. Yeah. We all know Brunson is the most important player.
He's the best player by far. He's the engine.
But you can't have a PB&J without jelly.
Can't do it. Or you could. You're just not winning. It would taste fine.
You literally cannot have a peanut butter and jelly without jelly.
Yeah.
You're just eating a peanut butter sandwich. And sometimes peanut butter sandwiches are good.
Not great, though.
They're not great. They're better with jelly.
Yep. I just hopefully that jelly isn't
expired
in the playoffs.
We need that jelly to be fresh.
That jelly does need – and that jelly needs to be in rhythm, which I'm hoping Randle gets back. See Randle get a good 2 months of hoops before the playoffs.
Exactly.
I don't want it to be a week.
No. Johnson, you says, Marsh, you worried about the Cavs? They got shooters now.
So
they're better.
Do you remember last year when they had that Okoro guy in the corner?
Yeah.
I was getting a little nervous. I was watching the it's not Okoro anymore.
It's
Strus or Niang, and I'm like, you're not leaving those guys.
Yeah. But their defense is worse as well. They were the number
worse.
one defensive rating in the team, I believe, in the regular season last year.
Yeah, and they're still way too Donovan Mitchell reliant. Everything is him.
You think Donovan Mitchell wants to see OG Anunoby for 2 weeks?
No. Josh Hart again?
Josh Hart kind of locked his ass up.
And it's also, talk about playoff lapses, games going down in playoffs. Donovan Mitchell, the last 3 seasons he's been in playoffs, has not been good. I know we still have that image. That if you would just
bubble image.
If you would just take that out, we would be viewing Donovan Mitchell so differently as a player. Deuce locked him up, JU. Thank you. Threw Deuce in for the last 15 seconds of that 1/3 quarter.
Is Mobley out for the year?
I don't think so.
I know Garland is back or coming back, if not back.
I think he is back.
As expected, Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby did not practice. 315 people watching. If you could, please hit that thumbs up icon. We'd greatly appreciate it. We're going to close out the show with a mailbag. The way to get your question up on screen is to include hashtag Knicks, or if you super chat, it'll get on the show as well. Johnson, he says Deuce locked him up. He did.
Shout out Big Deuce.
Feelings to Footage Media says, great show. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Shout out to you for tapping in. Fabian Williams says Mobley is playing, so they're full.
Yeah, they're right.
Have they been full strength? New Day Entertainment, yes, sir. Shout out to G5. What's up, bro? Thanks for logging on and hanging out with the kids. Johnson, thanks for the question.
They're both fully out there.
So they're full strength now.
Yeah. I watched them against my Bulls. The Bulls had the best of them on the road.
Was that full strength?
Full strength. Kobe White was cooking Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, dude.
Everyone's been talking about Donovan Mitchell's defense is back this year.
It's not.
I don't believe that. He's trying.
He gives a ton of effort.
He's just not a defender. He's 6'2", and he's got T-Rex arms.
I was going to say, I don't, like, at some point, it's just, the whole thing, defense is effort.
It is, but you also need, you can be an average defender with effort. You need tools to be a great defender.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. No, I mean, he's trying, but also in the postseason, try in the postseason. Go guard Brunson.
Come here.
Yeah,
come guard Brunson in the postseason.
Also then take 30 shots on offense. Like, see how long you last doing that.
So they don't start Okoro anymore at all. So I'm like, who's guarding Brunson? You putting Garland on him?
I think it's going to be Donovan
Mitchell.
It has to.
You putting Strus, Niang?
Strus ain't going.
Brunson might average 30.
So they go Garland, Strus, Mitchell, Mobley, Allen.
Brunson might average 30.
Even who's on Randle and OG? Like you're gonna
put Mobley on. You putting Mobley on Randle.
One of them.
And Randle kind of bullied Mobley a little bit before he got hurt again.
You're going to put Strus or Garland or Donovan Mitchell on OG? Those one dribble rip-throughs are going to be –
Strus ain't guarding shit. Cavs don't want the smoke, Steven.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the Cavs.
Oh, my God. A 2-3 matchup, Knicks-Cavs second round. Their conference finals bound.
It would be in 5. It would be the same thing. Maybe not 5.
Gentlemen, sweep that ass.
Maybe Mitchell had – because Mitchell didn't have like a game last playoff. I don't know if he –
He did. Game 2. Game 2 he had a game.
Yeah.
What do you have, like 30 and 12 assists or something like that?
Was it. Yeah.
Knicks already did their job, though. We stole one at the Q.
So Brunson played bad.
Do you think Quicken Loans Arena scares me?
Brunson played bad.
Brunson played bad, and we won in 5.
Randle was being an idiot all 5 games. Like
Jared Allen is still scared of Mitchell Robinson.
The Bucks would, in the 2-3, that would be – it depends on what type of Dame you're getting.
I ain't scared of the Bucks, dude. Doc Rivers is a joke.
I'm still scared of Giannis.
I am scared of Giannis. I ain't scared of Doc, though.
Any series in the East, I can actually say – even the Celtics, I can say Brunson's going to be the best player. The Bucks, he's not. Like, it's going to be Giannis.
He could, though.
He could. It's just a lot less likely. The lights were too bright.
Mr. B says, stop overlooking that. I'm not. I said it would be 5.
They're having a good year.
It's a great season in Cleveland. Enjoy it. Nobody goes on vacation to Cleveland.
They had a great November, December, and January.
Yeah, nice January.
Yeah,
nice January.
Cleveland.
Oh, my God. Ups and Brown says, thoughts, New York getting Bridges in the offseason. Your thoughts, Vaughn? Bye-bye. Yeah, I would do some illegal shit to make Mikal Bridges a Knick.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, what do I got to do? What do I got to do? What do I got to do? All right. Hashtag Knicks or Super Chat. Let's get into it. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. I cannot wait for New York Knicks basketball to be back. If you're excited, hit that thumbs up icon. In today's show, though, I just wanted to chop it up with a couple of subscribers and just answer questions heading into the second half of the season. My guy, Marcus, what's up, bro? Dream Knicks starting lineup during playoff time. For me, it's just the starting lineup that you had prior to all the injuries. Jalen Brunson, Donte DiVincenzo, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. Isaiah Hartenstein. I would want Isaiah Hartenstein to start. Even if Mitchell Robinson is healthy for me, I still want him to come off the bench. But that Hartenstein, Randle, Anunoby, DiVincenzo, and Brunson 5, when it came to net rating, they were number 1 in the NBA from January 1st when OG Anunoby made his debut to when he inevitably got hurt. That's the starting lineup for me. And I know the next question is, what is this closing lineup going to be? And that's going to differ from game to game and situation to situation. You know, Tibbs is a guy that loves Josh Hart, and he's probably going to put him in a lot of closing lineups. We also got Bogdanovich with a little bit more size and that catch and shoot ability, as well as DiVincenzo. It'll be interesting to see how Tibbs plays his cards down the stretch of games. But when it comes to starting lineup, Brunson, Chenzo, OG, Randle, and Hartenstein, that's the starting 5 for me. Levi's the best. What's up, bro? What star do you think will have the best chance to request a trade this offseason, and what is the trade package? It's a really good question, man. I've heard some stuff that maybe the New Orleans Pelicans are going to have to decide between Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson, so I'd keep my eyes on that. Look, if the Phoenix Suns collapse, maybe you're looking at a guy like Devin Booker. Maybe you are looking at a guy like Mikal Bridges with Brooklyn. They just fired their coach. Maybe he doesn't like the coach. Next year would be the second to last year on his contract. You're getting awfully close to him being on the last year of that deal. You're always going to talk about Joel Embiid with the New York Knicks due to his CAA ties. I'm sure you once again will be talking about DeJounte Murray. Those are some of the names that I'm going to be keeping my eye on. My guy Baptiste, what's up, OG? Let's take best case scenario, and our roster is fully healthy for the playoffs. Do you think this is a title contender? And if not, what are we missing? Mad love and congrats on your success. Carl, we love you, man. All right, best case scenario, the Knicks are a number 2 or 3 seed. Let's go 3 seed. And you're fully healthy? I think the Knicks can win the East. I really, really do. That's best case scenario there, right? That's if Robinson's fully healthy and Anunoby comes back fully healthy and Randle comes back fully healthy and Hartenstein's able to play through that Achilles injury. And best case scenario is Julius Randle, regular season Randle, shows up in the postseason and plays basketball the way that he knows how to. Because if he does what he's done in the playoffs this year, the New York Knicks are not going to have that much success. The facts are the facts. The Knicks need Julius Randle to be special. They really, really do. So I'll say it again. If you're healthy and you're a 2 or 3 seed and regular season Randle, all-pro or all-NBA, multi-time all-star, multi-time all-NBA shows up, yeah, you can win the East. I truly, truly do believe that. Show him some love. Let's get the good vibes going right now. We cannot afford for Randle to not show up in the playoffs. So let's show him some love. Type those 30s and let's go Knicks. Johnson, what's up, man? Marsh, are you worried about the Cavs? They got shooters now. They absolutely are a better basketball team than last year, but they've somewhat switched their identity. Last year in the regular season, they were looked at as one of the best defensive teams in this league. And like the Knicks, they've been battling with injury issues of their own. Garland's missed a lot of time. Mobley's missed a lot of time, but they're back at full strength. For me, though, I still don't think they're a good matchup for us, meaning they would not like to play us. They don't have anyone in their starting lineup that can guard Jalen Brunson. Mitchell Robinson absolutely dominated last year on the glass. And then you bring back Hartenstein, who's gotten better. Yes, they have more shooters. There used to be a Coro in that short porch, camping out and shooting threes. Now it's guys on their team who are much better, like Max Strus and Niang, and those guys can shoot. But they've changed their identity. They used to be a drag-it-out type of team that beat you on defense. Now they're an offensive team, and I believe Tom Thibodeau in any series against J.B. Bickerstaff will be the best head coach. And I think that goes a long way. Am I worried? No, but I see them. I recognize them. And maybe it's not 5 this year. Maybe we just beat them in 6. G5 Weez, what up, man? If Randle has a good playoff run and JB doesn't or has a mediocre playoff run, do you run it back or trade one? If Randle has a good playoff run, he is on this team next year. If JB has a good playoff run, he is on this team next. A bad playoff run, he's on this team next year. No matter what, Brunson, you're not trading Brunson. No, I'm not doing that. But Randle, let's say Randle struggles, then I think you have to kind of look that way. But if Randle has a good playoff run, and for whatever reason Brunson struggles, yeah, I would run it back. Or maybe you could. Maybe Randall's turned the corner at that point, and there's no reason to even trade him. Maybe you look to upgrade there, sell him while his value's high. But, man, I just don't see a world where JB has a bad playoff run. He's just too clutch, too calm, too cool. I don't see that happening, brother. But I would say if this played out like this, I would run it back. Make sure you guys are hooked up with our proud sponsor, Prize Picks. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS, and Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply choose more or less on their projected stat line. It's a lot of fun. It's easy, it's exciting, and there's so many different sports that you can play. They've got NFL, they've got NBA, they've got college football, NHL, college basketball, March Madness right around the corner, soccer, PGA, and so much more. Check them out. Win yourself some money. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. I'll make sure all that information is clickable down in the comments and description of today's video. My guy Fabian Williams, what's happening, bro? Do you think Klay Thompson is a good pickup this offseason? I wouldn't hate it, but he's not at the top of my list. And honestly, I don't even know how it would really happen. It would have to be a sign and trade, and that means I'd have to give up something for him. And where's he going to play? DiVincenzo is a better player than him at this point. I'd probably pass on Klay Thompson. Mary Beth, we need to get everyone healthy and full strength before the playoffs. If that happens, finals, here we come. This team fully healthy is really, really good, guys. It really, really is. Yeah, if you're healthy, you've got an opportunity to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, if not win that. In my opinion, how you win the East is you get healthy. Randle's productive. You avoid the 4th or 5th seed. Your shooters need to make shots. And Jalen Brunson's got to be Jalen Brunson. Go be great. Go be the best player on the floor like you were in both of the playoff series last year. I have no fear that Brunson will do that. This team is special, but it's all health dependent. That's like any team in this league. If the New York Knicks are not healthy, none of it matters. They got to be healthy. You don't want to be limping into the playoffs. What up, G5? Who is more vulnerable in playoffs, starters or bench contributors? You always hear everyone always say it. Role players play better at home, and we saw that last year. R.J. Barrett, I don't even like calling him a role player, but he was much better at home than he was on the road. Emmanuel quickly struggled throughout. Grimes struggled throughout. Vulnerable, I'd say the bench and your role players, but like you could also make the case that it's your starters, right? Because they play more minutes. It's just all dependent on 30. And I know I continue to come back to that, but I can't unsee what I've seen in 3 playoff series. I'm going to say, though, bench players, because if the Knicks role players play well, they're going to be in a really, really good spot. Asia, what's up? Jacob Toppin should have been in the finals with Mac McClung. Yeah, dunk contest stinks. The Jalen Brown dunk where he dunked it and then covered his eyes after he already dunked it, and he thought he was so cool with the left-handed glove, like he just kind of stinks. Yeah. How about we stop? If we're just going to put G Leaguers in the dunk contest, let's just get professional dunkers. Like, we watch the dunk contest to see the best of the best in the NBA do it. Shout out to LeBron James for ruining the dunk contest. All the greats before LeBron, they did the dunk contest. And, yeah, he took that from us as well. So, yeah, there's that. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. We'll be live on the channel Thursday night for the Knicks' first game back from the All-Star break, and we'll be live Saturday for Knicks Boston. So subscribe, turn your notifications on, and let's go Knicks.
Who? Yeah, Jalen Brown's dunk was just dumb.
Seeps, you want to see me talk to you blindfolded? What's up, man? That was cool, huh?
Dude.
What a loser.
See, I thought the left-handed thing was the corniest thing I've ever seen.
I thought it was corny as hell, too.
Even the Kai thing, like, jumping over him, I'm like...
I'm over the jumping over people thing. That was cool 18 years ago when Nate Robinson did it.
Or when Blake went over the Kia. Like that was cool. I want to go next year, no props.
No props, just dunks.
No props. You're only allowed to dunk. Go see what you got. That's what I would do.
I'm kind of in on that. Johnson, I do not have any news on the Houston protest. I do not.
NBA's not going to do anything. I think
Yeah, I don't see the Knicks winning that one, but I think it was worth it.
Yeah. Would they just do a 5-minute overtime?
I think so, right? Like, that's what would happen if there was no foul call.
Yeah. Does Houston come to New York?
No. So they've already played twice.
They've already.
Yeah, I don't think that has anything to do with it, though.
You think they would meet them up for a...
I think they would. The only reason I see the Knicks not winning the protest is because they're going to point to, well, we give you a challenge and you used it earlier in the game and you didn't win it. So they're going to be like, well, you could have had your challenge.
Yeah.
But even then, though, like, who's to say you win that challenge and they say it's not a foul on the floor?
True.
Because it took them till after the game to watch it multiple times to say it wasn't. But the end of the day is this. The ref on the floor, the head crew chief, said it was not a foul. And then the NBA, who does the last 2 minutes report, is not those officials. They also said it wasn't a foul. So you had two people who represent the league say it's not a foul. And if it's not a foul, you just go to overtime. They should just play overtime. But knowing the NBA, the Knicks are going to get screwed out of this one. But it never should have been that close.
Was it the same ref? I saw you. Remember you tweeted out.
Same ref that Brunson in Game 1 came down on Tatum's foot, and they called an offensive foul and a flop. Same ref as well that when LeBron James last year drove to the basket against the Celtics, got fouled by Tatum, and he freaked out. Same ref there. The very next game after the Houston game, it was a tie game, I believe. I think it was the Bulls.
Yeah, it was the
Bulls and Cavs. It was that ref.
Yes, it was that game. Literally, like Donovan Mitchell.
He took the game away from the players.
Yeah, he's trying to get the ball in the inbound. He just shoves Caruso.
Foul on Caruso.
Foul on Caruso. Like, what's his name?
I don't even remember his freaking name.
We don't need to say it. That dude stinks.
He should never be able to ref in the NBA again.
Yeah.
That is 4 calls in less than 16 months that have lost a team game. Games. It's a joke. It is a joke. Alrighty, we're going to sign off on today's show. Appreciate you guys. Audience today was awesome. You guys are the best. Just wanted to hop on here and get you guys a little bit of news and rumors and chop it up. Shout out to everybody in the building. We'll be back live on the channel Thursday. Until then, let's go Knicks.